Good morning. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Da, 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 da. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. I was enamored with that man's cadence. Like, primarily. Like, I was born at the end of Reagan, but I didn't know the guy. And I had Clinton, and that guy was shameful. And I was young, and I knew he was shameful. Then I got Bush, and that was just an adventure. Nate, I read and see what you're saying, but you don't need to be. I believe, slightly relates to my topic, I believe with my vast education that depression is highly correlated with a deficit in purpose. Also in the ways that purpose is containing of hope. With purpose and hope, I believe that those two things can be a significant improver of depression, even long-term clinical depression. I take meds for this. I think purpose and hope combined changes a lot. The reason I was talking about that is because I was pretending to do the yes we can from who? Obama bin Laden. I mean, what president did we have? Barack Hussein Obama bin Laden? Something like that. One of the presidents that we had. I forget his name. Good morning. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Anyway, good morning, everyone. Good morning. We can. It's such a speech technique. The inclusive language doesn't mean it's disingenuous. I believe we can. What can we do? If I say we can, what am I talking about? And can we? We can? Can we? We can! We can! Sounds like a song. I don't know. So I redid the settings on my phone. I reset factory default and cleared a bunch of stuff off, and I'm hoping it helps. So I am trying to fight the good fight. Last night, Nate, if you have to ask that question, then the answer is probably no. Fisty O'Doyle Bear, welcome. Don't recognize your name. So let me discuss what I really meant when I said we can. There's a lot of stuff we can, okay? But let me discuss what I actually meant. So I have a feeling your whole family's going down. I was reading about the hate speech rules this morning on YouTube. On how to be a YouTube something or other partner. Okay? And though I disagree with how they typically implement their rules, I actually think, I don't think that they're going to play fair. Don't get me wrong. I don't think they're going to play fair. But if they were objective, I do not speak in a dehumanizing manner towards any people group unless you consider the word murderer hate speech. But I don't think that murderer, so that's basically the worst thing that I say with their twisted minds. So I was just thinking about the ways I may or may not end up qualifying for the YouTube partnership program or whatever. It requires 4,000 hours of view time, which means if I do 2 hours a day, basically, then, and I have 5 people watch that, that's 10 hours a day. It's still going to take 400 days, basically. I do that sometimes. Blame it on the mouthwash and other stuff. But I was looking through the hate speech rules. Maybe, but they review the content. And yes, I've named some names, and therefore, are they going to be like, well, because he talks about these other people? Maybe you're right, Nate. Maybe you're right. We have screenshots of YouTube employees writing messages to us, specifically Annie has this, saying that they really, really, really enjoy Owen Benjamin. Literally saying, I really like his content. Yeah, so anything, here's one of YouTube policies, is they're against anything that could cause harm to a child. So I was like, oh, so I'm like on your side. Dude, that's great. YouTube, I'm like totally on your side here. Like 100%. I don't want anybody to hurt children. It's pretty straightforward. And the thing is, I call the doctors murderers because they're the ones performing the murder. I'm not calling anybody else names. I'm not calling the mothers names at all. They need support. They need discipleship. That my call to action, guys, is the same call to action that Jesus made. And for that, I guess YouTube would probably just kill me. I mean, if we're going to be logically consistent, that's what would happen. But my nose is itching again. It's because I just grow hair so fast. Dude, I'm kidding you not. Just read the last 2 or 3 chapters of Ecclesiastes. Just read Ecclesiastes. And this is the duty of man, to fear God and keep his commandments. It's okay, Nate. It's okay. And anybody else that's in Nate's camp today, it's like, oh, this is just what's the point of anything? Guys, it's fine. It's fine. There's a lot to be depressed about. There's a lot to be worried about. There's a lot to be vigilant about. But we need to remind ourselves that we have a holy, good God. We can trust in His goodness. And whenever we have doubts, you need to recognize that those doubts are more than likely, yes, those doubts are related to faith, yes, but they're also related to limited perspective. And as existential as we think we may be able to access within our minds, we will always be limited in our perspective. It's just the nature of being constrained by this fourth dimension and lower life that we live. Well, that's sounding really confusing. I don't even know what you're talking about. We're restricted by operating within the chronological timeline. Because we're restricted to that mode of life, it will limit our ability to have perspective on the nature of God. Because God He's not even outside of time. It's like He's outside of time, but it's even bigger than that. His outside of timeness is so different. It's just different. But anyway, I digress. Here's the things that I'm looking for. I feel like enough of you know about Operation Baby Landlord to independently run your own commercials and it just be some sincere thing of this message. This is the message, okay? Operation Baby Landlord is a hope. It's a dream to touch the lives of others in a loving, kind, and truth-centric way. It's a way to encourage others to do the right thing with loving words and kindness that reaches beyond the messages of mainstream media, that reaches beyond the messages of vigilantes, that reaches beyond the message of any of these things, and speaks straight to the eyes and hearts with the help of God through prayer and man through postcards. A modern day telegram that simply says, do you realize what you're doing? Good morning, morning. So anybody could do that. You could take what I just said and clip that and use that. But you could also do it yourself and spread the word. And why? Why though? But why though? But why though? It's up to you. If you think it's a good thing, share it. If you're not interested or you like the technical, that's what live streaming is beautiful. You need a electronic device that you probably already using to watch this, and you just hit live stream and you type a description and you hit go or live now or whatever. And it requires no expertise at all. And it's pretty simple. You'd be like, listen, I'm part of Operation Baby Landlord, and I want, through love, to communicate to the hearts of the ones involved in ending the life of ones who can't speak. But I can speak. And we want to lovingly, kindly encourage. It's simple. It's simple. It really is. And what I was doing last night, I recognize I have a big problem with complaining. Because I kept on getting comments like, no need to apologize, blah, blah, blah. I obviously need to work on my attitude as I'm just dredging through the just ugliest, just horrible. Oh, it's just, you gotta put on the full armor of God. I need to practice what I preach. I need to pray up before I dive in. Because it's taxing. We got 2 more last night, and it took a long time, 2 hours and 15 minutes. It's like basically 2 hours, about an hour apiece. I mean, we're talking about 700 hours of work at most. But if you break that up, we can knock that out a lot faster. Right now, we have 9 people on the list, but really only 4 or 5 people, from what I can tell, have really rolled their sleeves up. It's fine. I'm thankful. I really am. If it was just me, yeah, it'd be obviously slower. But we're just gonna keep on going. Keep on going. So here's the thing. Nate shared my PayPal link. Thank you, Nate. Here's some things, if you're interested. If you want to encourage me to do the rap, please vote. Please vote what rap song of Eminem's I need to rewrite the lyrics of and a cappella rap. So when I get to 500 subscribers, or if just by some miracle of God, if I reach $500, whichever happens first, I'll be doing that rap song. And what does that money go to? It goes to help keep my family afloat. We are trying. We're not just like, oh yeah. So what we're actively trying to do is I'm actively trying to get a job, seeking methods to supplement my income so that I am not in the red $800, $900 a month. And that sounds like a lot. It's like, well, how'd you get in that position? You just haven't seen my other videos. My overhead, guys, is, I think, really small. I think my overhead is really small. My overhead, without groceries, my overhead is about $24,000. Less than that, really. Let me actually do the math. My actual overhead minus groceries. So if I'm thinking of rent, my utilities, and gasoline to get to work, and insurance, 15, 16, 17. So 7 is 84, and then 12. So 20,000, basically $21,000. My overhead per year is $21,000. 21. And then on top of that, my family needs to eat. right? And buy toilet paper and stuff, right? So that's about what we've typically budgeted is $150 to $200 a week, which is apparently way below the national average for a family of 5. But that's so anywhere from $600 to $800. Obviously, more is more comfortable. Obviously, duh. So 96 plus, I mean, it's $30,000. What do I make? I make $28,000 because I'm making $14 an hour. So I just like to put things into perspective. I'm not living in a mansion. I'm living in a $900 a month and that's just rent alone. There's utilities and all that. But and some people are like, oh my gosh, that's just cheap. I have a negative 17.5 trillion point credit score. Negative 17.5 trillion credit score. Okay, that's obviously not true. But for folks that are like, well, you should just buy. If you know somebody that's willing to trade me a house okay, for my land that I own in Asheville, just let me know. Something that a family of 5 could live in for the 1.5 acres of land at the end of a cul-de-sac in beautiful Asheville. If we could do a tradesy trade, then yeah, let me know. But otherwise, I'm where I'm at for now, because I certainly couldn't qualify to live anywhere else. Oftentimes places that you rent from run your credit, and based on my credit score, my reputation is lower than a paramecium on a snot ball from, oh, I'm just gonna stop. It's just ridiculous. It's really tangential. Sometimes I get creative, guys. Sometimes I get creative. And my situation, my context is something I have to be a little lighthearted about. Because, what's the solution? I work as unto the Lord. I'm dedicating myself at work to work as Christ-like as I can efficiently, trying to develop innovative ways to improve the environment. I have done revolutionary improvements to my department as the lowest level employee in the company of like a 13,000 or 17,000 person in company. I have done revolutionary things to my department. What does that mean? I have developed tools single-handedly that have saved efficiency of time to replace as many as 2 full-time employees. And in the realm of process improvement, that's looked at as extremely valuable. And I still sit at the lowest level of the company. Why? Circumstances, friends. It's not personal. I'm not naive. I took the position that I could get the fastest because that's what was necessary at the time for hope of getting your foot in the door and proving yourself. Well, I've been doing some proving, I tell you what. I'm going to keep on doing that proving and work as unto the Lord, praying that better times will be ahead as long as I remain diligent and consistent and responsible and all these things, so on and so on. I'm boring you. I apologize. Me. I hope, though, that when I share these stories about me, that you can translate some of these concepts and attitudes personally, because that's the only reason I would ever share any of this stuff, is not so that you have any thoughts about me, but how you can translate the mentality to your own life and say, yeah, yeah, I need to have a better attitude, because it's not about that, it's about how I can be obedient to God. And as long as I'm doing that, I will live in poverty for the rest of my life if it means my obedience to God. If God blesses me with more money, so be it. If he doesn't, so be it. God is good all the time. All the time, God is good. And that's the right attitude to have. That I know, that I will continue to live. So, we've got the rap thing. And I haven't given you much evidence that that would even be at all worthwhile. Like, you're like, I could give this guy $5 to vote on an Eminem song, but I'm really doubtful that this dude could even rap at all. That's part of the fun, guys. That's part of the fun. But I don't know. I'm not going to say that I have skills in rap. But I do have skills in language and writing. And I know that I could write. I know I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it good. I'm going to honor the love you share. And one way or another, when I get 500 subscribers, that's why it doesn't require a penny. And that should make everybody happy. That I'm not like saying, give me money or I'm not going to do this funny thing. It's not what I'm saying at all, obviously. But then there's another thing. 4,000 hours, guys. 4,000 hours. I don't know how that's going to happen exactly. So it's going to take a while. Even if I got, well, let's say I had a goal. Let's say by June. Okay, let's see. We've got, this is April. No, this is March. We got April and May. Let's say April and May, I wanted to hit 4,000 hours by the end of May. That's 2 months and 30, let's just say 60 days. So we would need 36, 60 hours a day. Is that how that would work? Just about 60 hours a day, which would require me doing 60 hours a day, 2 hours. I would need 60 viewers. No, I'd need 30 viewers to watch both videos every day. And that could hit 4,000 hours by the end of May. See how that works? But yeah, the We Can. Why did I name this We Can? Because I think that I could actually easily comply with YouTube's policies. It's just the guilty by association thing that that Nate brought up. Yeah, that's very possible. It's very possible. Anyway. A lot of people watch this like on their way to work or whatever, or while they're getting ready to work. I hope that I encourage you to have a better day, because that's what part of what I'm doing here is preparing to just be awesome at work. I'm very, very familiar with discouragement, very familiar with the nature of depression, and it has a lot to do with inward focus. It has a lot to do with not taking the Word of God seriously. So what do I mean by taking the word of God seriously? The lilies of the field toil not, blah, blah, blah. How are you taking it seriously if you say blah, blah, blah? I know. I'm working on it, guys. Greetings. Greetings, August. I thought I said hello already. And hello to everybody else that's in and out and here and whatever. But the lilies of the field, the flowers in the field, they do nothing. They're clothed more beautifully than the richest man that has ever lived. Guys, I don't think you understand just how rich Solomon was. Richer than thousands of like Jeff Bezos. And if you multiply the wealth of Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos, multiply their wealth together. Multiply, not add. Multiply their numbers. That's pretty much what we're talking about. Solomon was, and it wasn't just tangible wealth that he had absurd amounts of. Literally comical amounts of wealth, Solomon, because of wisdom. But what else is wealth? Wealth is your means to make more money, and that's what Solomon had as well. Solomon had the ultimate means to make infinite, okay, not infinite, literally, but unending till the end of his days, wealth. And that is rich. Nobody will ever be as rich, ever. Okay, maybe not. Maybe there's one other that could hypothetically, on an analogical sense, be wealthier than Solomon, and that would be the Antichrist. I imagine that the Antichrist will have the means to make unlimited wealth as well. So, but it's wealth in a different way, and it's all gonna burn, and he's gonna burn in the lake of fire forever. And it's different. Solomon was the wealthiest man ever. Maybe not that ever will be, but definitely ever in history. Undeniably. So, what does that have to do with anything? It's related to the nicest clothing that has ever existed. The rich, like all that money could ever buy, God clothes the flowers more beautifully than any clothes the most money ever could ever buy. Why is that significant? The flowers don't work for it. And how much more does God love us than flowers? And the birds of the air that don't actually have to worry about their food. Actually, according to God. How much more does he love us? And those verses should be an encouragement to you. Yes, Solomon was literally the first trillionaire by all standards. He possibly was in the quadrillion range. Especially if you factor in his ability to make money as a value. If you were to put a value on his ability to make money, multiply that by the number of people that were alive at the time, and you multiply, basically, anyway, it's meaningless. You get the point. The point is, God loves us way more than flowers and birds. That's the point. And every time you get depressed, you need to remember I think this stream has gone a lot better in regards to quality. Not quality coming out of my mouth. I do my best, but we didn't have any weird reconnecting deals, so maybe resetting my network settings, maybe that helped. Maybe that solved some of the issues. We can hope, because God literally knows that I cannot buy another iPhone right now. He literally knows that. Anyway, let's see how much. I got a little bit of time to scroll through some comments, ask some questions real quick, make haste, not waste. Nate is trying to be a man, do some manly man work. Good job, Nate. You keep on being a man. Ugh, sun in my eyes. Sun in my eyes. What's going on, dark side, dark seed? Grumpy Bear. Grumpy, while I scroll through these, tell me if you're doing a Bible study. Let me know if you're doing a Bible study, Grumpy. And to everybody, pretty much, please don't take not having a wrench personally, ever. Nate, if you're still here, you're supposed to be angry about sin in your life. If you're not angry about the sin in your life, there's probably something wrong with your heart. And you should literally ask God for a soft heart. Took 100 years, but it was still very much worth it. He was being obedient to God, and sometimes the things that we're doing take a really long time, and we can get discouraged. Don't get discouraged. Nate, Macklemore's rap was redone by Bizzle, and it's really, really a good song. I'm pretty sure it was Bizzle. Look it up. It was a really good song. And he did it to the tune of Macklemore's song and all that stuff. It was really good. Look it up. Yeah, I do not believe what you're saying, August. And I believe that there is overwhelming evidence as to why the flood was global. Overwhelming evidence. Overwhelming evidence. But it's all good, man. We still love you. August, geology is claiming that it's not science but a perversion of science. Yeah, a lot of times yes, but it's because of their lack of perspective.
and false assumptions at the set-go. But there are certain undeniable observable facts regarding geology and soil layers and all sorts of things that completely prove a global flood. But I get it. I'm a complete science skeptic science is all about skepticism. But part of the problem where science has gone wrong is that they aren't skeptical of their own presuppositions. And that's the biggest problem with science, in my opinion. Cold as ice, has to go to the dentist. Yeah, that's rough. Grumpy, yes, and that's because geology gets science timing wrong because of false assumptions. It's because of their false assumptions that they're getting it wrong. It's a dark side of the bear, which is how I'm pretty sure you pronounce your name. It could be seed, but because I'm a phonetics weirdo, I've done too much language studies, I get confused when I look at words. Because anyway, it is up to you, but when you tell somebody that is experiencing depression or something, bipolar or anything, hey, this is all your fault, you're just making this up. That's definitely not the right way to go. And I'm not saying that's what you did. I'm not saying you said that at all. But what I do mean is you need to realize that it's not a disease. That's what you need to remember in regards to depression, all that. Please quote the verse. I can help you. Dark side. While this man is bearing his soul. They're arguing about whether the flood was global or local, and it's an old argument. Is that live stream time or just view time? I don't know. I'm still here. I've got like 5 minutes. Just keep stringing. I started a few months ago and I have over 5,000 hours. 5,000. Are you sure it's not minutes, Dark Side? Because 5,000 hours is 30,000 minutes. It's like... Dark Side. It's like I'm having to turn the AC like cranking on my phone because it's so hot. I think that's why it's doing the reconnecting thing. But you would need 300,000 minutes of views, Dark Side, and that's a lot. But I get it. If you're at 300,000 minutes, then yeah, that's 5,000 hours. August. Cain and the other people, they didn't survive. Noah's family was the only one that survived. The whole world repopulated based on Noah and his wife and Noah's 3 sons and their 3 wives. The whole world. But remember that the Tower of Babel came after the flood. Okay? Yeah, I trim my nose hairs regularly. That's part of why. Yeah, there's seashells on Mount. Exactly. Um, it was biz for shizzle. I do my next video this afternoon at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Man, I missed a lot of comments. Oh my gosh. Y'all were blowing up the chat today. That's what I know. Good grief. All right. I've got to go. Whoopsie. I've got to go. The last few minutes of this video were me just trying to read just a lot of comments. Thank you for the interaction. Be kind to each other. Show love. And when you think you know something, you need to recognize that you might be wrong. And if you think that you know the truth absolutely, and there's no chance that you could be wrong, there's a problem with that. Okay? There's certain things that I will stand on, and mountains I will die on, so to speak. Jesus Christ is the Son of God. Jesus Christ is God. Jesus Christ was in the beginning with God because he is God. The Holy Spirit was always there. Jesus was always there. God was always there. They are three in one. These are mountains I would die on. I'm not going to die on the local / global flood. I'm not going to die on Young Earth Mountain. I believe Young Earth. I believe global flood. And I have very valid reasons to believe such. Those are not the mountains I'm going to die on, obviously. They're not the essentials. Okay? Just don't get distracted by the non-essentials and stop acting like you know for a fact that these non-essentials are fact, because they're not. They're not. No. Dark Side of the Bear. 5,000 hours is 300,000 minutes. So in order to get in order to become a YouTube partner, you need 300,000 minutes in a 12-month period. That's what you need. So literally, if you have 300 viewers that watch an hour-long video, well, yeah, that I don't know, 60 to, I don't know. You get the point. All right. Yeah, I got you. It's cool. All right, so I'm off to work now. I'm gonna try and do my best. You do your best. Realize that we have hope. Not because of us, but because of God who is in us, and we can, guys. I think we can do this. What is this? Guys, we can do this. We can do Operation Baby Landlord, guys. We can live in this fallen world. Because the most important thing is not our happiness, not our comfort, but obedience. Obedience to God. How do you do that? Fear God and keep his commandments. That is the duty of man. That's how we do this. And there's a lot of people that don't fear God. I ain't going to be one of them. I'm going to be one of the ones running the race, my friends. I'm not afraid of being a racist because racism, sir, doesn't exist. First of all, hatred does. And considering yourself, August, better than anyone else, for any reason, is antithetical to the gospel. There is neither Greek nor Jew, male nor female. You haven't read your Bible in a context with a soft and contrite heart. So, I keep you here because I want to pray for you, August. But I think you're getting some stuff seriously wrong. You're missing the point. I have not been indoctrinated by any nonsense. Okay? You can throw your stones, sir, but you're wrong. Dude, I know way more Hebrew than you, August. I know Aramaic and Greek. Okay? I know the context. And I can pee further than you too, August. If we're going to make this a peeing contest, I don't think you understand. When I was 10 years old, I could pee further than you, August. That's how much of a peeing contest I can win. Like 9,000 feet. That's how far I can pee. At least almost 2 miles. Almost 2 miles. Okay? So if you want to fight with me about how awesome you are, August. August, if you want to argue with me about how awesome you are, I will just show you how awesome I am. I'm not claiming to be awesome, August, but I know the scriptures, and I know how to humbly say I might be wrong, okay? But there's certain things that are undeniably wrong about what you're saying. It might be because you're in a communist country. I don't know. I hope you are, August. Poor guy needs prayer. Pray for that guy because obviously love is not in his heart. See, Jesus talked to people, and then I really need to go or I'll actually be late. Jesus talked to people that hated him. Jesus talked to people that were so horribly wrong about what they believed. And yeah, he called them brood of vipers. He called them some names. But he also said forgive them. They don't know what they're doing. Synagogue of Satan. But that's so provably not what I'm doing here, guys. I'm not really worried about it. I'm not really worried about it. August, you were supposed to leave. But everybody's going to pray for you, dude. To have love in your heart and to not call good evil, because that's what the world does. And there's nothing about what I'm doing that is of the devil. My allegiance and my loyalty is to Christ, 100%. And I will deny anything for the sake of Christ. So all right. Pray for August, and y'all have a good day. We have hope because Christ is in us. And if he's not in you, then you don't have love. And August is possible one of those guys. So pray that he